There's more misery for UK commuters today with that crippling rail strike continuing across much of the country. That's been adding to the woes of many travellers who've been trying to make their way around Europe or the world, only to be grounded by staff shortages, delays or lost luggage. So what are the viable alternatives? Well, let's talk now to Ruth Wright. She's editor of Euronews Travel, and she has some advice to help us all from tearing our hair out. Well, Ruth, good to see you there. It's perhaps too late for me to stop tearing my hair out, but yeah, with the prospect of travel chaos over the summer, what's the outlook looking like?
Well, I'd love to bring you good news, but it's not a good outlook. Airports Council International surveyed their member airports about a month ago, and they're all predicting, 2/3 of them predicting delays throughout the summer. The same issue is at the heart of all these problems, and it's one that you mentioned. There's just not enough staff. If you think of all the steps you have to go through to get onto a plane, you need staff at every step of that journey, going through check-in, going through security, being processed at the gate, and then, of course, at the other end, getting the bags off the plane and onto the carousel. And the reason airports can predict months ahead that there will be delays is because there's very strict timelines on processing staff to work in airports and to work on planes. And although this is a big inconvenience to us all this disruption, I'm sure none of us would want staff who aren't security checked. So, we have to have some sympathy for the airlines and airports that they are just doing their jobs. But as you say, there are alternatives. The strikes that are hitting the UK are only hopefully going to last for a few days, whereas airline strikes are planned throughout June, July and August. Ryanair and EasyJet staff have already announced they'll be striking over poor pay and working conditions. And so far, trains are being a lot less disrupted by planes than planes. And that would be my number one alternative.
Okay, so anyone listening to this might think, I'm hearing Ruth Wright here. She's an expert in travelling. I'm just going to stay at home. How can I make the most of, what's available on the doorstep?
Absolutely. Clue yourself up on what's happening around where you live. Outdoor events are back with a bang this year. All those events that we've had to cancel for the last few years are back. No one's economy is doing well right now, so why not contribute to the economy of your own country by spending your hard-earned travel money at home? And if you do want to travel without flying, then as I mentioned, trains are improving daily, especially around Europe. There's been more and more investment in long-distance trains, making it a much better experience than some people might perceive it to be. And you only have to arrive at a train station an hour before the train leaves, even for international trains. So it's generally a quicker, smoother, more pleasant travel experience. It's especially reasonable for families. In most trains around Europe, under 12s travel free. That's not across the board, of course, but absolutely worth checking. And of course, traveling with kids is stressful at any time, but being on a train where they have space to run around, not being crammed into a plane with cranky passengers because of crying babies or shouting kids, can be just a nicer experience for the whole family.